To understand and speak English like native speakers, the first and biggest secret is listening, but not the kind of listening people do casually while watching YouTube or movies, rather active listening, where you force your brain to catch every word, every sentence, every expression, and try to understand the meaning through natural guesses. Listen like a native means you listen to English the way a child listens to his mother tongue. Carefully, repeatedly, emotionally, and without worrying about grammar rules. When you listen to English in this way, your brain automatically absorbs new words, new sounds, and new patterns just like it did when you learned your first language without books, grammar, or dictionaries. The core of the listen like a native technique is to listen to every English sentence while attaching a picture to it, because the brain learns a language fastest when it connects words with visuals. For example, when you hear "he walked into the room," immediately create the image in your mind of a man entering a room. The more visual links you create, the stronger and faster English sticks to your long-term memory. Language experts around the world call this the natural listening method, meaning you don't force yourself to learn the language. You absorb it naturally the way a sponge absorbs water. You can use this method daily through English podcasts, short YouTube clips, English dialogues, animated movies, interviews, speeches, storytelling videos, real-life vlogs, and more. But just listening is not enough. Listen like a native becomes truly powerful when you add the shadowing technique, where you repeat what you hear at the same time, even if it's wrong. Even if your pronunciation is not perfect, the goal is to replicate the sound. This trains the muscles of your mouth, tongue, jaw, and lips to follow native speaking patterns. Have you ever wondered why children speak with perfect accent? Because they hear sounds repeatedly and automatically copy them. The second secret of listen like a native is slow listening practice, where you listen to the same 20-second clip 10 times a day. Every repetition unlocks a new sound, new tone, new stress pattern, new rhythm, and your brain locks the meaning permanently. After slow listening comes fast listening, the same clip in original speed, so your ears get used to real-life English. At first, this may feel challenging, but within 10 days you will notice a big improvement. The third secret is context-based learning, meaning learning English inside full sentences, not through isolated words. Many learners memorize 20 random words daily and forget them the next day, but native speakers acquire vocabulary through sentences, which is why the words stay with them for life. For example, learning the word run alone might not stick, but hearing "I run every morning to stay healthy" repeatedly locks the meaning, usage, and sound at the same time. The fourth secret is emotion-based learning. Listen to English that carries emotions: happiness, sadness, excitement, fear, surprise, anger, motivation, because the brain remembers emotional content 10 times faster than dry textbook content. That's why people never forget movie dialogues but forget grammar book lines instantly. The fifth secret of listen like a native is consistency. Without daily practice, no skill develops. Listening to English just 20 minutes a day improves your ability dramatically. In 1 month, you start understanding much more. In 3 months, you understand 70% of native content. And in 6 months, your ears pick up 90% of real-life English automatically. The sixth secret is accent mapping. Choose one single accent, American, British, Canadian, or Australian, and follow that only. Mixing too many accents confuses your brain. American accent is the easiest for beginners because the sounds are clear and simpler. The seventh secret is transcript listening, where you listen without text first, then listen with the transcript, then repeat again without text. This 3-step cycle boosts your listening ability faster than any traditional method. The eighth secret is the pause, play, repeat technique, where you divide the audio into 5 to 6 second chunks and listen repeatedly, observing stress, intonation, linking, reduction, and connected speech. Like how natives say wanna instead of want to, gonna instead of going to, lemme instead of let me, and so on. These real spoken English features cannot be learned from books. Only listen like a native can train your ears for them. The ninth secret is ear training, just like muscles are trained in the gym. The more English sounds your ears hear daily, the sharper your brain becomes at decoding them. The 10th and most powerful secret is brain adaptation. Over time, your brain accepts the new language's sound system, and suddenly you start understanding English naturally. Without catching every word, your brain grasps the meaning automatically. This stage is what people call real fluency. The listen like a native method is the simplest, most natural, and most powerful route to fluency, and you can practice it anywhere while walking, cooking, traveling, resting, or doing household tasks. Just wear earphones and let your subconscious absorb the language. In the end, if you truly want English to enter your mind naturally, remember this: don't study English. Absorb English. Listen like a child. Imitate without fear. Train your ears. Repeat daily. Let the language sink into your subconscious. This is the path that leads you to fast, natural, and native-like fluency. To master English the easy way, the real secret is not grammar books, not memorizing vocabulary lists, not forcing yourself to study for hours, but learning to listen like a native, which means training your ears to absorb English naturally, effortlessly, and emotionally, the same way children acquire their first language without any pressure, rules, or stress. When you listen like a native, you don't chase words, you chase meaning, rhythm, tone, and flow. Every language has a heartbeat, and English has its own natural music, and the more you listen, the more your brain tunes itself to that music automatically. Listening like a native means listening with intention, curiosity, and full mental presence, catching the sound patterns, the connected speech, the shortcuts native speakers use every second without thinking. This is why you hear natives say gonna instead of going to, wanna instead of want to, gotta instead of have got to, and the more your ears get used to these real-life patterns, the more comfortably you understand English without translating in your head. The biggest advantage of listen like a native is that it trains your subconscious, not your conscious mind, and the subconscious is the true master of language learning. It learns silently, deeply, permanently. When you listen daily, even for 15 to 20 minutes, your brain begins to store thousands of patterns without you even realizing it. Sentence structures, pronunciation, grammar intent, emotional tone, stress points, intonation, and all those small details textbooks never teach. Listening like a native also means listening with emotional connection. When you hear English through stories, films, vlogs, dialogues, or motivational speeches, your brain remembers the message because emotion acts like glue. When something touches your heart, it sticks in your memory forever. This is why movies, songs, and stories are so powerful. They engage both the emotional brain and the language brain at the same time. The more emotional your listening material is, the faster your brain absorbs it. But listening alone is not enough. You must listen repeatedly because repetition is the mother of mastery. When you play the same clip again and again, your brain gradually unlocks new details each time, like discovering hidden layers in music. First, you catch the basic meaning, then the tone, then the stress, then the linking words, then the emotion, then the microsounds, and eventually, without effort, you start predicting sentences before they are even spoken. That is the moment you realize your brain is shifting toward native-like comprehension. Another powerful technique inside Listen Like a Native is shadowing, where you repeat the audio along with the speaker, even if your pronunciation is not perfect. Shadowing forces your tongue and mouth muscles to align with English rhythms, pushing your accent, fluency, and confidence to a new level. At first, shadowing feels strange, but within a few days you begin noticing major improvements. You sound clearer, smoother, faster, and more natural. You can practice shadowing while walking, cooking, cleaning, or exercising. The goal is to keep your tongue moving with the language. Listen like a native also teaches you the power of slow listening and fast listening. Slow listening trains your brain to catch details, while fast listening trains your ears to handle real life speed. When you alternate both, your ears become flexible and strong, capable of understanding movies, interviews, podcasts, and real conversations without stress. Another key point is consistency. Listening for 20 minutes every day is far more powerful than studying grammar for 2 hours once a week, because language learning is a daily muscle, not a monthly project. Your ears must stay in contact with English regularly so the neural pathways in your brain grow stronger. Think of listening as exercise for the brain. The more you train, the more fluent you become. When you listen daily for 30 to 60 days, your listening clarity improves dramatically, and you begin to understand native speakers without asking them to repeat themselves. The beauty of Listen Like a Native is that you can practice it anywhere, during travel, chores, walking, resting, or while doing nothing. Just plug in your earphones and let the language surround you. Even passive listening helps because your brain continues to absorb patterns in the background. Over time, you will notice that you no longer translate from your native language into English. Instead, you start thinking in English automatically. You begin forming sentences in your mind faster. You understand jokes, expressions, and idioms without confusion, and you respond quicker. This natural fluency comes only from listening deeply, repeatedly, emotionally, and consistently. Listen like a native also makes grammar easier. When you hear thousands of correct sentences daily, grammar rules start forming naturally in your mind. You begin to feel what sounds right or wrong, the same way native speakers feel it. You don't need to memorize rules, you absorb them. Listening also improves your vocabulary effortlessly, because when you hear words in context, you understand meaning instantly and remember it long term. The easiest way to follow this method is to create a daily listening routine. Choose topics you enjoy: motivation, stories, English lessons, documentaries, interviews, travel vlogs, and listen repeatedly. Every week, increase your listening level slightly so your ears keep growing stronger. After 2 to 3 months, you will notice a huge shift in your confidence, fluency, accent, and understanding. The final secret of Listen Like a Native is trust. Trust the process, trust the brain, trust the natural method. Language learning is not memorization, it is absorption. The more English you hear, the more English your brain stores, and the more fluent you become. So remember the core message. Don't study English, absorb it. Listen daily. Shadow boldly. Repeat without fear. Train your ears. Feel the language. Let English sink into your subconscious. This is the easiest, fastest, and most natural path to mastering English like a native.